agreed to, and I call the honourable member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And Deputy Speaker, I was going to leave the speech of the member for Brand alone. But how could I without that enticing invitation at its end? The idea that a shortened Labor government would somehow be interested in the consumers of Australia. What a beautiful piece of sophistry, of eloquence from the member for Brand, the wannabe minister, who has created a falsehood right at the heart of everything that they stand for. Because there's one thing you know when you get a Labor government. It's that the consumer and the Australian taxpayer comes not first, not second, not third, not fourth. In fact, I'm trying to think in which of the pecking order of the many unions, the trade union interests, the various vested interests where they like to bring together a corporatist, unionist, big government agenda. The people of Australia fit somewhere down kind of the bottom of the pile. The bottom. Just take their agenda on energy, where they frankly couldn't give two hoots about the price of electricity bills that actually hit Australian households. In fact, they dismiss the idea that this is even an important part of the discussion and the agenda. And to think that you have the shadow Consumer Affairs Minister not worried about the prices of household bills, Deputy Speaker, is one of the most incredible statements that you will ever hear in this place. But these are the difficult realities that we must confront and the Australian people must confront in the coming months and weeks, and scarily, if they get their chance, years. Because what we know always with Labor governments is their interest is to talk to the top end of town and sort out cushy deals and sign the deals away. The same is true, of course, with the trade union movement, and we see this no clearer than the great state of Victoria, where nothing is impossible so long as you take the tax dollars of average Victorians and chuck them on the table to the benefits of unions and their members. And you can achieve anything. Just don't ask who's going to pay. And of course, who's going to pay? It's going to be the Australian people. We know this from the NBN and their plans where they're just going to build things without any costings whatsoever and lumber future generations for the technology that by the time it's completed under their plan, that people will be paying thousands of dollars for their bill to get basic access to internet services, thousands, for what will probably by then be outdated and redundant technology. It doesn't seem to matter what the Labor Party touches, they do have an anti-Midas touch, which you've almost got to admire for its capacity to kill and tease, kill and destroy the aspiration and the hope of Australian consumers and households. So what we've got today in front of this parliament is a very simple bill. It's a bill that understands the aspiration of many Australian consumers, which is when they buy gift cards, that they will be redeemed when they go to seek to use them. Now, I'm not going to try and pretend, Deputy Speaker, I don't have some philosophical contests about whether, or conflicts about whether government should be involving itself in the gift card market. But the intention of this bill is that when somebody goes off and buys their loved one a Christmas present, and they don't know what they want, and they buy a gift card as a reflection of sentiment without determination of the gift, that when they go back in 12 months' time at the Christmas sales, which might have just fallen past the 12 months, that it be redeemed. We've all been there. We've all been given gift cards for Bunnings. We've all gone on to redeem them. And sometimes you're mocking me, the member for Brand, and the idea I go to Bunnings. I go to Bunnings. And I do gardening too. It's the satisfaction of watching plants grow and the beauty of our natural organic environment. Going to Bunnings, putting the gift card on the table and having confidence that it's going to be there to be redeemed when you seek it. So many Australians have gone off in the experience of JB Hi-Fi and got their gift cards and waited for the latest technologies only to understand that the gift card expired months ago. And so what this bill does is creates a standardised system across the whole of the nation, that if you buy a gift card, it'll be honourable for a minimum of 3 years. Now, of course, gift cards already stipulate the contract terms, and what we're doing is making sure that even those who have purchased them before will be able to go on and have them redeem them in the future. And yes, there's an issue around competitive federalism, which I have some tension with as well. I'm a great believer, Deputy Speaker, in federalism. I'm a great believer that the source of power of this country isn't in this room, or as Menzies said, the chattering classes, but around the kitchen tables of the nation. And individuals who come together to form families as a foundation for community and statehood and country is how we should govern our nation. And we need competition and different laws, because there is nothing more offensive in this country than the monopoly of government. The monopoly of big government centralised in Canberra. But all we are seeking to do is reflect the sentiment of what has already been enacted in state laws so consumers can have confidence for that future. To be able to go on and have redeem their gift cards when we have so many national businesses today when they cross state boundaries. And that this consistency and this time frame is apparently one of the most important issues fronting the consumers of the nation. And I hear this from people and consumers who are frustrated. I hear it from the opposition, and that's why this government is making it a priority and passing this legislation today. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank the honourable